Have you ever waited for something for so long that you almost stopped believing it would happen? Well, today's story is about a girl who heard no again and again. People told her to quit. People told her to be realistic. Even her own friends started losing hope. But she never gave up. And one day, something happened that nobody expected. This is the story of the girl who never gave up and finally got her miracle. So let's begin. There was a girl named Emily. Emily lived in a small town in America. It was a quiet place. Everybody knew everybody. She was kind, hardworking, and always smiling. But there was one thing people didn't know. Emily had a dream, a very big dream. She wanted to become a professional singer. Now that might not sound unusual. Lots of people want to sing, but Emily's situation was different. She came from a poor family. Her father worked long hours at a warehouse. Her mother cleaned offices at night. Money was always tight. Sometimes Emily saw her parents worrying about bills. Sometimes she heard them talking quietly in the kitchen late at night. Even though life was difficult, Emily never complained. Instead, she sang. She sang while washing dishes. She sang while walking to school. She even sang while doing homework. Music made her happy. It made her feel free. One day, when she was 16, she entered a local singing competition. She was nervous. Her hands were shaking. Her heart was beating fast. But she stepped onto the stage and sang with all her heart. When she finished, the room was silent. For 1 second, she thought everyone loved it. Then the judges started talking. One judge said, "You have passion, but your voice needs a lot of work." Another judge said, "I don't think singing is the right career for you." Emily smiled politely, but inside, her heart broke. That night, she cried in her room. Have you ever worked really hard for something and then failed? Yeah, it hurts. It hurts a lot. But Emily made a decision. She would not quit. The next morning, she woke up early. She practiced singing before school. She watched free videos online. She learned breathing exercises. She practiced every single day. Months passed, then years passed. Emily graduated from high school. Most of her friends went to college or started jobs. People kept asking her, "So, when are you going to give up this singing thing?" Emily would laugh and say, "Not today." Honestly, I love that answer. Not today. Simple. Powerful. 1 year later, she auditioned for a music talent show. She believed she was ready, but she was rejected again. The email was short. "Thank you for applying. Unfortunately, you were not selected." That's it. No explanation, no encouragement, nothing. Emily stared at the screen. She felt tired, very tired. For the first time, she thought maybe everyone was right. Maybe she wasn't good enough. Maybe her dream was impossible. That evening, she went for a walk. The sun was setting. The streets were quiet. She sat on a park bench and looked at the sky. Then something happened. An elderly woman sat beside her. The woman noticed Emily was sad. She asked, "Bad day?" Emily nodded. Then she told the stranger everything. The failed auditions, the rejection, the doubts, the fear. When she finished, the old woman smiled. She said something Emily would never forget. She said, "The moment before a miracle often looks exactly like failure." Emily thought about those words all night. The moment before a miracle often looks exactly like failure. The next morning, she decided to keep going, not because she was sure she would succeed, but because she knew she would regret quitting. So she continued. Practice, practice, practice. Day after day, month after month. One afternoon, Emily posted a simple singing video online. Nothing fancy, no expensive equipment, no professional studio, just Emily, a camera, and a song. She almost didn't upload it. In fact, she stared at the upload button for 10 minutes. Have you ever done that? You know, looking at a button, thinking too much, wondering what people will say? Well, Emily finally clicked it. Then she went to sleep. The next morning, she checked her phone. 5 views. Not bad. Then she checked again an hour later. 500 views.
Her heart started racing. By evening, the video had over 1 million views. 1 million! Can you imagine that? People were sharing it everywhere. Comments flooded in. "Your voice is beautiful. You made me cry. Please keep singing." Emily couldn't believe it. After years of rejection, suddenly people were listening. A few days later, a music producer contacted her. At first, she thought it was fake. She literally checked the message 5 times. Then she checked it again, just to be sure. The producer wanted to meet her. Soon, Emily recorded her first professional song. The song became popular, then another song and another. Within 2 years, she was performing on stages she had only dreamed about. The same people who once doubted her were now cheering for her. But the most important moment happened one evening after a concert. Emily returned home. Her parents were waiting. Her father hugged her. Tears filled his eyes. He said, "We always believed in you." Emily smiled. She knew they had sacrificed so much for her. That night felt bigger than fame, bigger than money, bigger than success, because her dream had finally become real. Her miracle had arrived. Now, does this mean every dream comes true? Not always. Life doesn't work that way. But this story teaches us something important. Success often comes later than we expect, sometimes much later. Many people quit right before things start changing. Many people stop one step before the finish line. Emily kept going when nothing seemed to be working. She kept going when nobody was watching. She kept going when she was tired, disappointed, and afraid. And that made all the difference. So if you're working towards something right now, maybe learning English, maybe starting a business, maybe chasing your own dream, don't give up too quickly. Take one more step, then another, because you never know. The moment before your miracle might look exactly like failure, and your story might be closer to a happy ending than you think. Moral of the story? Never give up just because success takes longer than expected. Hard work, patience, and belief in yourself can open doors when you least expect it. Sometimes your greatest breakthrough comes right after your hardest struggle.